Hi there. So, this is my first booktube video. I'm really excited. A booktube channel is something I've been wanting to do for ages and ages and ages, mainly because I'm completely obsessed with booktube. A couple of booktubers in particular, more on those anon. But the reason I decided to do it today was because this morning I went to one of my favourite places in the world, which is some of our tea house in Ely. And it's run by one of my really good friends, Sophia, and she bought me a thing to put my phone on to record booktube videos. So I got really excited, thank you very much, Sophia, and decided to come home and record my first booktube video, and I thought, sod it, let's just do it. In Lauren style, from Lauren and the Books, I've got a cup of tea with me. And the tea I actually got from my friend Sophia's shop in Ely in Cambridgeshire. Actually, we'll do a little plug, shall we? So we've got, it's basically she brews her own, this channel is going to be about books, promise. I'm just doing a little tea segment. She brews her own like loose leaf teas and they're really nice. So the one I picked up this morning is called Pu'er Cherry Pie. It's pu'er tea with hibiscus, dried cherries, rum flavour and sunflower petals. Have a look at that. It's really nice. So if you live in Cambridgeshire, pop into some of our tea house and gallery, Forehill. Thank you very much, Sophia. This won't be the first time Sophia's mentioned in these videos, let me tell you that. So yeah, really excited to do my first booktube video. So the reason, like I said, that I decided to do this is because I'm obsessed with YouTube, booktube. Have been for a while now. I only really started properly reading about a year and a half ago. The only reading I'd done before that was in school, and I instantly became completely obsessed, specifically with 3 YouTube channels. If I can figure out how this works, I'll link them all in the thing down below. But firstly, I became obsessed, with these 3 YouTube channels in particular. The first one being Simon over at Savage Reads. I think he is hilarious, really well informed, great reading taste, and wonderful cats. So yeah, I really like his channel. Again, yeah, I'll try and link it down below. The second was Lauren from over at Lauren and the Books. She, again, is hilarious, and you can tell she's just completely herself on booktube. So yeah, I watch her a lot, and Simon over at Savage Reads. And the third was Katie over at Books and Things. She really got me into classics, especially Dickens. So I'll be talking more about kind of classics and things like that I like to read as I upload more videos. So for my first booktube video, I decided to do a kind of what I've read so far this year, almost like a January wrap-up. I'm not sure when this is going to go live, so it might go live in like June, and I'm like, it's my January wrap-up, what an idiot. So yeah, but we'll see how it goes. So the first thing I read was a book I got for Christmas from my father-in-law. It's called Cambridgeshire Ghost Stories, and it's a collection of ghost stories by Richard Holland. So anyone that lives in Cambridge or Cambridgeshire region will find this really interesting. It's really short. It's only like 70 pages or something. It's the kind of thing you can read in one day. So I read this, and it's really interesting because if you live in Cambridge or Cambridgeshire, you'll recognise a lot of the places. It talks a lot about the colleges at the university and all the different kind of ghosts that inhabit the different colleges. It talks about Peterborough Cathedral and things like that. So yeah, it's a good kind of history of the area, and also a bit chilling as well. Ghost stories, brilliant, very good. The next one is brilliant. It's so funny. I'm still reading this, I haven't finished it, but anyone who knows this woman, this comedian, will think this book is hilarious, and that is Cunk on Everything by Philomena Cunk. Now, Philomena Cunk, for anyone who doesn't know, is a character created by a comedian called Diane Morgan, and she's absolutely hilarious. If you haven't read this yet, do pick it up. And if you haven't seen any of her kind of mockumentaries that she does on YouTube, have a look at them. Type in Philomena Cunk and just have a bit of a binge watch on everything she's done. They are brilliant. This is kind of like an encyclopedia of of everything in the world according to this character called Philomena Cunk, and it is absolutely brilliant. It's absolutely hilarious. One of my favourite bits was, so she kind of goes through the alphabet and talks about things beginning with that letter. I can't find it now, but there's a hilarious bit which talks about art and what art is. And it says like, art is the posh word for art. No, art is the scientific word for paintings. And it's just hilarious. Such a good book. So yeah, would really recommend that. If you haven't read or watched any of her stuff so far, do give it a go. Now, the next thing I read was Normal People by Sally Rooney. Now, this is the first Sally Rooney novel I've read. I'd heard a lot of really good things about her previous works and Normal People as well. So Normal People follows the story of Marianne and Connell, two teenagers, and it starts with them at school and the relationship that they kind of go through, and it follows them through university as their lives kind of intertwine and then separate and intertwine and separate again. Now, I found this a little bit indulgent, really. I think it was, I don't know, I've heard a lot of people say excellent things about it, really like it. I really liked her writing style. I found it very readable. But I don't know, the characters of Marianne and Connell, I just didn't really sympathise with them. I feel like the characters felt very indulgent. It's also goes off on tangents in weird places. Like there's one part when Marianne goes to, I think it's Sweden, and gets involved in some kind of risque stuff. But that doesn't really kind of go anywhere. What I did find really great about this book was the relationship that they have, and the kind of the kind of will they, won't they, are they, aren't they. He loves her, but she doesn't love him. She loves him, but he doesn't love her. Kind of message that goes throughout the book. I found that very relatable. So yeah, do give it a go. It's probably just my preference that's making me say it was kind of a 3-star read, but yeah, do give it a go because I know loads of people really like this. So yeah, Normal People by Sally Rooney. The next one was by one of my favourite people ever, Dr. Lucy Worsley. Is there anyone better than Dr. Lucy Worsley? No, there isn't. That's the answer to that question. This is a book about Queen Victoria. It's called Queen Victoria, Daughter, Wife, Mother, Widow. It's kind of a biography about Queen Victoria, and it's split into 4 sections: daughter, wife, mother, widow. And Lucy Worsley kind of writes biographies in the way almost like she's writing a novel. So it feels very much like a novel when you're reading it, but it is a biography. It's very interesting. It kind of takes snapshots of days throughout Queen Victoria's history. It doesn't kind of go into real detail about every element of her life. It just takes snapshots of certain days that were of significance and importance throughout her life, and focuses on those. And I found it really interesting, very easy to read, quite sad but quite funny at times, and you often find out things that you had no idea about with Queen Victoria. So yes, very good read. I'm really hoping to read her At Home with Jane Austen book as well later this year, so that was very good. Second to last book I read in January was Transcription by Kate Atkinson. Now this was my first novel by Kate Atkinson that I'd read. It follows the story of a character called Juliet Armstrong, and it follows her story throughout the Second World War of her working for MI5 or MI6, I can't remember, and working as a spy, and all of the different things that she has to do, and the different characters that she meets. It was really interesting and quite gripping at times, and quite full of suspense, especially when she's kind of in the depth of the kind of world of spies that she's working with. One thing I didn't really understand is why this book is bookended by 2 periods in the 1980s. I didn't really understand that, but that's just a really small part of this book, so you can just ignore that if you didn't like it, like I didn't. So yeah, it's and another thing that I found a bit weird about this book is that there's a lot of very, very similar kind of middle-aged white male characters that I found it quite hard to differentiate between them. But apart from that, it was good. I think I gave this 3 or 4 stars on Goodreads, I can't remember. But yeah, I'll definitely be reading more from Kate Atkinson. Yeah, really liked it. Now then, the next book, I'm going to go as far as to say this is absolutely my favourite read of this year, and potentially could be, bear with me, crikey, could be my favourite book of all time, and that is The Binding by Bridget Collins. Now, I didn't really know what to expect when kind of starting off with this book. I knew that it was about a character called Emmett, and he, I think it's kind of set in the late 19th century in England, and he finds out that he's born to be what's called a binder. So a binder in this world is someone who can take your horrible memories, your bad memories, if you've been through anything bad in your life, take those memories, bind them in a book, and you will forget them. And you only remember those memories when that book is destroyed, if that book is destroyed. And one day Emmett is working as an apprentice at a bookbindery, and he finds a book with his name on it. So he comes to understand that maybe he has been bound and he's forgotten some memories. This book is split into 3, and I think it's a really good way of telling the story. It's kind of hard to talk about without giving too much away, but there's an element of kind of magical realism in this book, because you can't actually in reality bind people's memories. Don't know if you know that. You can't. I don't really know how to talk about it without giving too much away, but the world that Bridget Collins develops in this book and writes about in this book is so rich, so well thought out, so plush and so creative, so magical, but at the same time so completely real that I just could not stop reading it. Every given chance I was reading it, and I was talking to everyone I could about it, especially Lydia at work. So thanks for listening to me, Lydia, while I was constantly banging on about this book while I should have been doing work. So yeah, do give this a go, especially if you're into kind of magical realism, historical fiction, that kind of thing. If you like The Mermaid and Mrs. Hancock, I think you will love this. Now, The Mermaid and Mrs. Hancock is also one of my favourite books of all time. I, again, do not stop banging on about it, and I will do a video about my favourite books coming up. So yeah, if you like that kind of stuff, do give this a go. So there you go. That's my first YouTube video, my first BookTube video. Do let me know what kind of videos you want me to be posting. I'm going to try and post kind of 2 or 3 times a week. So do let me know what kind of stuff you want to see. I'll also be kind of not only talking about books, but doing kind of vlogs as well. So we're renovating our house at the moment. So I might do a few bits about that. Going away to New York in April, so I'll do a New York vlog as well. And just to let you know, they will become the stars of this channel. I have 2 dogs, Harry and Sally. Brilliant, I know. Harry is a 5-year-old Labrador and Sally is a 3-year-old Cocker Spaniel, and they will be making many, many appearances in this on this BookTube channel, the same way Minnie does basically for Lauren over at Lauren and the Books. I'm hoping she's going to make little cameos like Minnie does. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. If you can, please comment, like and subscribe, and yeah, see you next time.